Why should we stop using rewards, consequences, and praise with children? After all, they sound very reasonable, especially the praise bit. But if we break it down, they all rely on us having power over children, deciding what we want children to do for us, when we want them to do it, and how we want them to do it. And then we also get to decide whether they did it, they pleased us, they didn't please us. And ultimately, we can reward them with a sticker or a treat or some praise that we have decided they can have, or we can make them suffer emotionally or physically by putting some consequence in place. Oh, so you don't get to go to the park now, or you have to give your iPad up for 3 hours, or so all these behaviors, what they really achieve is a disconnection. They are barriers between us and a child. We make it harder and harder for children to come to us then, particularly when things have gone wrong. If children learn really early on, oh, the adults are happy if I get things right, and that can look different on a different day depending on what mood they're in. I need to really focus on how to please them. And that in and of itself can do two things. It can either make children really anxious because they overthink, how do I keep the adults happy? Or it can teach them to avoid us and also deny anything they've done, because they may get away with it. And this is about preservation of not getting a consequence. So it's worth just saying, no, I didn't do it, or it wasn't me. So things like rewards, consequences, and even praise are all ways that create barriers and disconnection between us and a child. They make it harder for the child to really connect with how they feel about things and our feelings, because they're always putting them in a slight state of tension, fear, and even isolation when we enforce consequences. Oh, so I can hear you all saying, but what about praise? Praise is good. Well, if it's done with the child at the centre of it, then joining in is good. But let's start with the child. When they do something that we think is good, so for example, they may have got a good score in a test according to us, and we want to praise them so that we really mark it very clearly. Yay, you did a good thing. How about we just hold back and we start with them? Oh, so you got 8 out of 10 for your spellings today. Oh, how's that for you? How do you feel about that? And then pausing to actually find out, how do they feel? They might be happy, they might be confused because they were sure they were going to get 10 out of 10, or they might not really know because actually their friends were mean to them, because normally everybody in their group gets 6 out of 10. You're going to miss all that richness if you jump in, praise, praise, praise. So when they've decided how they feel, then that's your opener, either to reinforce it or to have a slightly longer discussion if they're not feeling great about it. So we can celebrate children's successes, but just don't be in charge of deciding if they have done well or not. I hope that's helpful to just begin opening up this discussion about the use of rewards, consequences, and praise, because I can see from social media, so Twitter, I'm at Jane Parenting with a number 2 at the end, and I'm on Facebook as Parenting Post Trauma. No, that doesn't sound right. I'll put it in the link below. So I'm on Facebook on lots of pages, so I'll put it down below. So I'm having these discussions and I really want you to be part of them, because it's only when we feel safe to explore them that then we feel safe to change. And this will really help the children, because rewards, consequences, praise, they're pretty much what we do when we're training a small dog or even a big dog. So let's get curious about this and see if we can work out a much better way to really help children to learn, rather than just keep us happy.